Bud was wishing he'd brought his camera, as the claret cup cactus was in bloom, and its rich red blossoms stood out clear across the canyon. He was caught up in studying one when Lindy growled. Lindy never growled at much of anything except when Pierre was trying to steal her biscuit. Bud looked up to see a small, wiry man wearing dirty green coveralls and a baseball cap standing on a cliff some 30 feet above him, looking down. His long gray hair stuck out from under a cap backlit by the sun.
"Lose something?"
he asked in a voice that somehow matched the threadbare look of his faded green coveralls, kind of scratchy and beat up and worn-sounding. Bud noted he had a long red mark on his hand, as if he'd been cut by a knife or something sharp.
"Yes, we did," Bud replied, startled. "Have you seen a drone around?"
The man quickly slid down the steep slope on his rear, Bud wondering how he kept from tearing holes in his pants. Bud could now see he was gray-haired and thin, and wondered if he wasn't looking at the same sheep herder Doc had mentioned.
"It's over in the bushes," the man said,
pointing to a stand of rabbit brush across the canyon.
"I was waiting to hear if I should destroy it or not. How did you get in here?"
"Are you the guy who locked the gate?" Bud asked, suspecting that he already knew the answer.
"Did you break my lock?"
the man asked. Pulling the lock from his pocket, Bud handed it to the man, asking, "What authority do you have to lock up public lands?"
"How'd you get it open without breaking it?"
the man asked, perplexed.
"Yes, I was told to lock the place up. It's getting too busy. The wrong crowd's coming in. But how did you get this open?"
By now, both Howie and Doc had come over to where Bud and the man stood. "This fella, I didn't get your name, says the drone's over in the rabbit brush," Bud said.
"My name's Scratch. But say, have you ever thought about how the only reason most people know their own names is because other people told them who they are? Everybody could be somebody completely different from who they think they are. And who are you fellas?"
"Well, I'm Bud, this is Doc, and this is Howie," Bud replied. "But who told you to lock up the canyon?"
"The Great Attractor," Scratch replied.
"I've heard John Deere makes a great tractor," Doc replied. Ignoring him, Scratch continued.
"I've been living out here off and on for ages, keeping an eye on the place for the Great Attractor. And now he's getting upset. Or maybe he's a she, or even an it. I don't want to be disrespectful, so I'll call him or her an it, and capitalize it to show honor to it. We must honor the Great Attractor, for we will all someday be in its bosom. All one, all together, merged into its great attraction."
"Is that it's with an apostrophe or it's without?" Doc asked. Scratch looked confused, then said,
"I think I know you from somewhere. You been in here before?"
Not wanting to get sidetracked, Bud asked, "Would you mind showing us where the drone is?"
"I need to ask if it's okay first,"
Scratch replied, now scratching Lindy's neck under her collar, the dog looking like she'd died and gone to heaven, her leg scratching in unison.
"You know, the best things in life aren't free. They're furry,"
Scratch said.